Okay, let's see what this one's going to be like. It's an interesting, we've done heaps of these. So we're just going to make this into something really interesting. Hopefully we can make it look really nice for something that it is. Right. Going to make it fairly contrasty, and we're going to keep, I think the copy density is going to be kept in the middle. We're just going to bump these items up, just our usual with the colour balance, as we like the colours to be vibrant, to be well defined. Let's see how we go with this. Oh, what is it? It is a piece of classism called the Mosman Daily. Mosman, says the rich people. I think my mum taught me that. And this is a bit snotty. Amber Sherlock, the 8 things I love about Mosman, or Mossman, as it's really called. So we're doing this. It's a Mossman Daily. So she's arse licking the Mossman Daily. She's an arse licker. Rich people lick arses. Don't you know that, folks? Rich people love to get ahead, and they lick people's arses, so to speak, to get ahead. That's just their culture. They think their culture rules. I think it sucks. And that's what I think of it. But I like to make fun of them. You know, these rich people are really snooty. They're really up themselves, you know. But, you know, what can I do to change things? You know, what can I do to get people recognised that being rich is often equivalent to being a bitch in society? But anyway, that looks interesting. Maybe it's a bit too red, but it should come up well for what we're doing it as. So now we're just going to take this piece of classism and throw it in the scrap pile, into the recycle bin it goes. And this is what we're going to use as our master copy. And we're going to just set this silly shit machine up. This machine is classism because the people that make it, the company, the CEO is rich. He's got money. And there's a lot of rich people in Konica Minolta, because it's a multinational, a huge multinational company. And you've got to realise that being multinational means there's lots of different... You got the CEO who runs the whole shop, but you've also got other people running the shop around the world. You've got managing directors in different countries, like including Australia. So we've got a managing director. His name's not Tim Cook. That's an asshole from Apple. That's the Apple CEO. But we've got a David Cook, and he's just another asshole in Konica Minolta. I don't care what he thinks. He can go fuck himself. Like any rich person, I've got no fucking respect anymore. I don't respect these rich people. I don't respect the company because the company's full of shit. That's pretty much it. It's full of it. They can't build a system that works really well. They make the spare parts only available for 5 years instead of at least 10 years. So that's why I've been seeing over the past many years photocopiers being changed out every 3 or so years or 2 years, because they're not worth much when they wear out. And this looks really... Yeah, it looks really yellow. I'm wondering if we're going to change it or if we're going to keep it like that. She looks really ugly now. You can see she's a bitch. She's a bit bright. I'm just wondering if we're going to maybe tone it down a little bit. Maybe we can tone it down, literally speaking. Let's see what we can do to make it a little less yellow. It's okay, but we've got to make it we've got to make it easier to see the features on the face. So we're just going to try an alternative setting. I think we might have made the master copy a little bit too hot, a little bit too coloured, red. So maybe if we reduce some of the density, we might get a better looking image. And I think it is looking better. You can see that one does look nice in a way, but this one... But still, there's not much definition in the lips as compared with the rest of the face. So I'm thinking maybe this is the setting we're going to run with, because that doesn't seem to make any difference. But anyway, she's ugly, she's a bitch, she's rich. So now we're just going to set ourselves, put our setting back to normal. So we're just going to take our copy density and center it like it was, and we're just going to go here. We're going to hit the black and red. But yeah, the companies don't care about the environment, because I don't even know what Konica Minolta do to old machines that reach the end of their lifespan. They say only 10% of electronic waste gets recycled. So I'm pretty, and being rich and being greedy, or should I say greedy, these companies would rather take the cheaper option, from what I can tell. So if it costs more to recycle, which recycling one of these would be an absolute behemoth nightmare. I recently went to a place that recycles e-waste, and to get a photocopier to get recycled, like one of these, you have to pay like $25, because it's a specialist kind of thing that they do. It's not as, and the same goes for cathode ray tube TVs, the old TVs with the picture tube. Well, that requires $25 to be spent. So basically, yeah, I had to recycle one of those, and it cost me an extra $25. So ripping one of these to pieces, folks, would be difficult. So my suspicions are that companies like Konica Minolta probably, chances are, don't recycle this stuff. They probably go either to landfill, but I got a sneaking suspicion they would go to a high temp incinerator, which is only marginally, which is a little bit better than landfill from what I can gather, but it's still polluting, and you can see the toxins and the CO2, and there's some pretty nasty compounds that come from burnt plastic, folks. But I think the high temperature incineration is better than if it was done informally in a third world country. If someone was to do that, the plastic would become highly toxic, and a high temp incinerator, I think, removes the worst of the toxicity, because the plastic would get reduced to cinders. But basically that's not good enough, because you still got residue left behind from the incineration, so not everything would be destroyed and be made safe to dispose of. But it's but I do think it's better than putting it in landfill. But still, I don't agree with it. I'd prefer to see these machines recycled above anything else, or reused. But because the machines are so, they don't last very long, unfortunately they'll end up having to be recycled. But if companies like Konica Minolta are socially and environmentally responsible, that's what they should do, is recycle it. But my guess is they probably don't, because the love of money, as they say, is the root of all evil. I think we'll leave that on a note like that. It's a terrible indictment, but that's the fact.